Extending on that conversation now, joining us to build up to the start of the SA20 tournament is Proteas legend Ashwell Prince. Ashwell, appreciate your time on Newzroom Afrika. I mean, there's always excitement for the cricket fraternity on Boxing Day. This time around, SA20 tournament taking center stage. I'm sure you can't wait for the first ball to be bowled. How is the excitement and the vibe around the mother city?
Yeah, it's certainly a different kind of exciting atmosphere. Usually this time of the year, cricket enthusiasts are locked into test match cricket. This year, obviously, CSA doesn't have any test matches, and Betway SA20 has taken the opportunity to move the SA20 into the main calendar of the season. We obviously know around Boxing Day and New Year's, that's peak cricketing season, and I can certainly say that things are hyping up in Cape Town for the opening fixture, which is going to be a blockbuster this afternoon.
Sure. I mean, this time the tournament is played not just in prime summer, but also in the festive window, promising, of course, packed stadium. That's what you want to see for a domestic tournament.
Absolutely. I think for every player, you know, it's like you're going onto the stage. You know, it's like an artist going onto the stage. You want to be in front of a packed stadium for you to go and display, you know, your skills, your talents. And I can't think of anything better, really, as a player, to be able to go out what will be the opening fixture this evening at Newlands. I would imagine, and I'll be very surprised if every seat is not taken up. It's going to be a packed house. Season 4. Bigger, better, faster. We're looking for more sixes, obviously.
On that note, I mean, talking about stadium attendances, I mean, especially coastal, I mean, where many have seemingly flocked to at this time of the year. Are you not nervous about how things may turn out in the rest of the country with other venues? You look at the Wanderers and you look at the SuperSport Park, especially at this start of the tournament where the rest of the people are in the coastal areas, and of course they will be filling up those stadiums, but the inland ones.
Yeah, look, I think there is a chance that, you know, a lot of the Pretoria people, Johannesburg people will be on holiday on the coast, but you know, to be honest, the demand for tickets for SA20 has been amazing over the first 3 seasons, particularly up in the Highveld, Pretoria and Johannesburg. And I'm sure there'll be an overflow of people who couldn't attend the previous season's matches that will be looking forward to coming to this season. Having said that, some of their fans, or some of their regular fans, I should say, will probably find themselves on the coast. So what you will find is that the away teams might actually, when they play on the coastal venues, they might actually have a bit more support. People from Joburg or Pretoria being in Durban and being in Cape Town. So I can kind of foresee that some of the away fans or away teams having more of their fans at the coastal venues, so having more support away from home.
There is synonymous to, of course, cricket domestically. I mean, yesterday on the Christmas table, I had to sort of stop a banter, I mean, that questioned whether the SA20 had stolen Test cricket. Care to further ease those hearts?
No, look, I think obviously Test cricket is governed by the ICC, and you know, the ICC's Test calendar sort of comes out, and in this cycle, South Africa didn't have any Test matches scheduled for this period, and obviously, from SA20's point of view, Graham Smith's point of view, they saw a great opportunity to move SA20 into this gap in the calendar, which, as we said before, is the peak sort of cricketing season. South Africans love spending a bit of time at the beach, but also spending some time at the cricket. They get a bit of both worlds. And I'm sure, you know, with the way that SA20 has been supported over the last 3 years, this season going bigger, better, I'm sure we're going to see a lot of the colours at the stadiums coming over the next few weeks.
Ashwell, I'm not just the only one in studio who's excited about the start of this tournament today. My colleague Arabile Kumede is also in studio here and want to pull one through to you.
Yeah, Ashwell, good morning to you, man. Look, you've been around the block a lot, right? You've coached teams, you've been part of even the SA test setup as well. But my question is going to relate a little bit more further afield. Why don't we go down under a little bit and get your thoughts on what's been happening in the Ashes? I know you're watching, because that's what you're watching right now,
I'm
right?
watching.
Exactly. What have your thoughts been? I mean, 3-0 down now, England. They look like they're trying to make a comeback, but it's been a tough day still. Tough sticks under the circumstances.
Yeah, it has been tough for them, 3-0 down. Just looking at the screen there, 5 for 68. They got Australia out quite cheaply this morning, but they in trouble again. England 5 for 68. It's going to be really difficult to. So it's a tough series down under for them. Obviously, from a South African point of view, and being on the coaching staff, and looking at the test cycle, we need England to win 1 or 2 games against Australia. Otherwise, they're flying towards the next final. Obviously, that's in 2 years' time. But yeah, it's really tough going for England at the moment.
And then very quickly as well, our chances of getting to that World Test Championship final again, you think? Everybody's been saying, you know, how tough a round of games we have this time around, especially because our games are on the subcontinent. Do you think that actually does stand us in negative stead, considering we've just had a great test series in India now, beating India 2-0?
Yeah, look, it's a tough 2-year cycle, and obviously you have to play good cricket for a extended period. You know, we won a Test Championship in June, and a lot of people said that we didn't play against XYZ, and we didn't play away from home, and all that. A lot of those people who made those noises came from the subcontinent. But as you say, we just returned from Pakistan and India, played 2 tests in Pakistan, 2 tests in India, and we won 3 out of the 4 test matches. So it's been a good start to our new cycle. But we've got a lot of matches to play yet. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who might have changed their opinion. Maybe they still have the same opinion about our chances and who we've played against. But you know, we keep our feet on the ground. We keep moving. We take it 1 game at a time, and the test team is really in a good space at the moment. And hopefully we can build on that, you know.
Ashwell, just back to the SA20, I mean, the captain's run really had us excited. I mean, all these captains, of course, ready to lead their teams to possible success. Looking at the different change rooms, what do you make of the competition and the depth within the different teams?
Oh, it's so hard. It really is so hard. I think, you know, one of the first things you do is you look at the auction, you look at who's come in, new players to new places. One this afternoon that stands out is from the Power Royals, Josh Butler, who's moved up to Durban Super Giants. Kwena Mapaka has moved there as well. So they are, you know, great acquisitions for Durban. So you always tend to look at the new signings. But for me, you know, I think having the continuity, we saw in the first 2 seasons with the Sunrisers, they had a good team, a lot of unknown players, you know, or lesser known players that A.D. Burrell had he brought in from England and county cricket, players that he was familiar with in his dressing room, and they did a great job for him. They won the first 2 seasons. They won the final again in, you know, and everyone thought, you know, they might do it 3 times in a row. But so for me, continuity is important. And looking at my Cape Town, they've tried to retain as many of their successful team from last season. You know, out of all the teams, they've retained the most players. And I think having that stability is quite important. Obviously, you know, they lost a big one in Dewald Brevis. He's moved up to Pretoria. But obviously they came in with a massive bid for Dewald, and fair play to them.
You speak about some of the players, of course, that are making up this team. And I think mentioning one, Kwena Mapaka, which then leads me to the other part of just how much the youngsters are getting the opportunity to really be exposed when it comes to this tournament. I mean, what other talent or which other talent are you expecting this season to shine? I think there's Andile Simelane is there, JP King, Luandri, of course, is some of the younger players. But this giving an opportunity to the youngsters to really shine, like Kwena Mapaka even did last season.
Yeah, look, I think I was just listening to the Commissioner, Graham, there, giving us a briefing on just the platform, the opportunities that it creates, and, you know, what it would have been like or for us back in the day had we had the opportunities. I mean, it's exciting. It's exciting for young players. You know, as I look back, years gone by, you know, the only platforms that used to be out there was sort of the international stage. If you weren't on the international stage, which generally on a calendar year, CSA would have 15 contracted players and maybe 5 or 6 other players, six, seven other players might get an opportunity to play for the country. So you traditionally would end up with only 20, 21, 22 players having a platform to shine internationally, whereas now all these leagues around the world, and obviously SA20 being another, and probably the second biggest league after the IPL, it creates a massive opportunity for a number of players, not just 20 or 21 players to showcase their talents to the world, but it gives great opportunity to a number of young players. You mentioned some names there. Luandri Proteas, obviously last year in terms of the young players coming through, he was the standout player. Kwena Mapaka, I'm looking forward to another big season from him. There's Connor Esterhuizen, he was another my Cape Town player that they were unable to hold on to, and I know that they quite disappointed that they couldn't hold on to him. He's made his move up north. So, you know, all in all, the platform, the opportunity for young players, is really exciting.
Ashwell, appreciate your time on Newzroom Afrika. We're certainly going to be catching up to you as the tournament moves along. I mean, Arabile, for Ashwell Prince, somebody who's part of a national team as well, he understands this when we speak about youngsters, as this producing or becoming a feeder for players that are going to be ending up in the national team side.
Yeah, very important voice to be hearing from ahead of the SA20, as you made note of. Vuya, thank you so much for bringing us that.